Girl, if you want, buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low. Get it on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. 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 For everything where you need. Bashco. Quality service guaranteed on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Get it more. Yeah. Bashco. Furniture for your house. Everything for your kitchen. Rocks and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM. Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A very special org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, the other candidates in the Northeast St. Anne by-election. And in the second watch, exploring and evaluating spacewalks in God's celestial territory. For our social media question, we ask, would you become an astronaut and explore space? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
All right. Today's I quote says, "Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." This one is from Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Okay, good morning, Joka.
Good morning. And by the way, I believe today is your birthday.
Okay,
somebody told me that today's your birthday.
All right.
Happy birthday to you, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yes.
And of course, the quote ties in with the second watch, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, very interesting. The first watch will be back after this break.
That's right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children, this is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun. We come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti. Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
And every afternoon, Small People.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythms. Hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM? Grow your mind? Jim. Get it? Grow your mind. And Yum with their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise, and you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Frames at 5. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth connection. Shuboti and them figured he provide everything on vibe people we church. Shuboti and them figured him alone make we happy when we did sad. Hey. Shuboti.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, 3 candidates were nominated to contest the September 30 by-election in Northeast St. Anne. And one of those 3 candidates is well known, while the other 2 candidates are perhaps not so well known, at least for now. So, who are these gentlemen, and what should be our expectations of them? To answer these and other related questions, we have online Chase Albert Neal, UIC Northeast St. Anne candidate, and David Fritz Anderson, Independent Northeast St. Anne candidate. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Jamaica.
Okay, good to have you both with us, gentlemen. All right, my first question to you. Who are you and why are you running to be MP of Northeast St. Anne? Beginning with you, Mr. Anderson.
Well, I'm David Fritz Anderson. I'm a resident of the same Northeast St. Anne. I have been in Northeast for 47 years, and I've still remained here. Why am I running? It's primarily because the cry of the people, I'm pretty close to the people, and the cry of the people has become louder. The awareness is profound, that people needs a change. And if you call me the lamb to the slaughter or the ram in the thicket, that's what I am. I have to represent Jamaica. I have to represent Northeast St. Anne to the best that I can and give them all that I have in me that they require. Not to make promises, not to lead anyone off road, but to live by example. And I mean, I have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I am still a resident. I have no plans of, venturing anywhere else.
Okay, all right. And you, Mr. Neal.
All right, thank you. I am Chase Neal. I have been working and volunteering on behalf of Jamaicans for the majority of my life, over 30 years. Now, I'm no longer resident in St. Anne. I used to live between St. Anne and St. Mary for about 8 years when I had a partner down that side, particularly in the exchange division. Now, at that time, it touched me. I was really troubled by how poor the road network was in some communities in the exchange division, despite it being so close to Oterios, the tourist town. Also, there were water problems, and I could not see how it is that these are areas so close to Oterios, which is such a developed tourist destination, and yet there is no water, there is no good road, and so forth. Now, I am the UIC Vice President for Middlesex County, and with my connection to St. Anne, I've also worked in St. Anne's Bay division. I've worked in the exchange division. I've worked in Oterios division at various times. So my connection with St. Anne, and with St. Anne being under my responsibility as a VP, I decided that it was only fair that the people would get a chance to let their voice be heard apart from the sole candidate from the JLP side, especially since UIC is a movement made up of the people, funded solely by the people. So with that in mind, UIC is the voice of the people. It's not controlled by any private interests or colonial backers as the two main parties. So I decided to throw my hat in the ring so that the people now would have a chance to put together their voices, and then I could be the representative for the people to express their concerns.
Yeah, loud and clear. Mr. Anderson, first, why are you running though in an election that many persons seem to believe is a foregone conclusion in terms of a JLP victory? Begin with you, Mr. Anderson.
Yes, I hate to use the word run in anything that I am doing, because I'm actually taking a stance for the people.
You're taking a stance.
Right, because the people is, as my slogan says, by the people, for the people, with the people. I was pressed by the people to do it for the people, and I will remain with the people. Right, so why am I doing this? Is because we have been watching enough. We have been in the stands. We have been in the grandstand. Some people are in the grandstand, some are in the bleachers, right? But we have to take to the field to participate, to know that, listen, Jamaica is not anymore, where you can do the same thing over and over and expect the same result. They say fools are the ones that does the same thing over and over and expect a different result. We notice there's a continued trend that anytime around these times, we have roads being fixed, places that have no water get water. We have black drums, the black drum type of politics been issued out to people in areas. So my question is, why were they not dealt with before? And it shows your love for Jamaica. So I am deploying here all that I have to show that I love this country. I am a citizen, I am a native, and I will not seek anywhere else to try to live. This is the best place to live. But it's unfair to our people what we have to be going through, having lived all these things, right? Because I'm in the community suffering the same things as the people. I don't live in a gated community, so I'm not privy to certain security and all of that. I know that we have to create safer communities. We have to know that basic things like water, electricity, and roads, that's a must for people.
Hearing you, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Neil, why are you running, whether you like the terminology or not, in an election that many persons believe is a foregone conclusion in terms of a JLP victory?
All right, so what I want to achieve is for the people to get good governance. Every problem, every issue that we have in Jamaica is connected to the issue of poor governance. The bad road conditions, the crime, the youth performance in education, or the lack of performance in education, all of that is related to poor governance. Now, what the aim of the UIC is to create a non-partisan constitutional republic of Jamaica that promotes our individual sovereignty, which is our right to our life, our liberty, our freedom, while promoting personal responsibility. And all of that is to achieve our vision, a Jamaica that brings out the best in all its people. Now, what we aim to do is give the people, first educate the people, right? That the parties that they are voting for are not owned by them. The two political parties are two sides of the same institution that is governed by the private sector organization of Jamaica. The funders are the owners of the system. So these people cannot speak on behalf of us, the people, as much as we want. They must speak on behalf of their funders. No, I am giving the people of Northeast St. Ann the opportunity to once and for all own a movement and be part of a movement that is not controlled by persons who don't have their best interests at heart, but controlled by them, where their interests are best served, which will bring up governance.
Stick up in right there, right? Stick up in right there, Chase Neil. We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change, and we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place. And I said no matter what the class or status or title, got to be responsible and recycle. Yes, with a cardboard, plastic, board, you have to make sure say that the right title. Some people they try and do with you one hard to. But not no matter could I you hard to. You have to just make sure them empty, collect them empty, recycle them, baby. So listen up Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the guns in every day. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a famous gamer with viral videos all over the internet. I'm going to be rich. Good thing I already know how to take care of my money since mommy got me this Sure Start account.
Open a CIBC Caribbean Sure Start account for your kids and give them a head start on financial smarts with a $1,200 sign-up bonus from us. We believe in their dreams as much as you do, so let's get them going together. Start young, start strong with Sure Start from CIBC.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Abasco. Get it on Abasco. Abasco. Everything was a bid. Get on Abasco. Get on Abasco. Which for your home and everything in your kitchen comes from that more at Abasco. The store that gives you more Abasco.
It's the third staging of Accelerate Pastors and Leaders Conference, October 3 and 4. Hosts Pastors Dwight and Joan Fletcher, founding pastors of Transformed Life Church, Reverend Dr. Conway Edwards, also Dr. Rowan Paul Earl.
Secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this the first watch, we're looking on the other candidates in the Northeast St. Anne by-election. And they are David Fritz Anderson, independent candidate, Northeast St. Anne, and also Chase Albert Neal from the UIC. Okay, welcome again to you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you for having me.
Yes, Mr. Neal, did you complete your train of thought before the break?
Yes, so I'm just here to give the people a chance to make their voice heard and to bring about good governance. If the UIC candidate is elected, then it paves the way for, in the general election, for more UIC candidates to be elected to bring about a better governance system for Jamaica. So this benefits not only residents in Northeast St. Anne, but the entire Jamaica.
Okay. All right. When I begin with you now, Mr. Neal, what is your response to those who argue that this Northeast St. Anne by-election is a waste of money, bearing in mind that it is felt that the results are also a foregone conclusion? I think, was it $13 million at least, that those who are concerned about this? Your response?
Well, it can be a waste of money if we want to establish democratic principles. We can't, for now, Mr. Samuda is an appointed senator. So for someone to be appointed and slide into the seat to represent the people and not be elected by the people is not something that we would want. As for people think it's a foregone conclusion, no. As a man of faith myself, I'm sure we are all familiar with the David and Goliath story.
Right.
Yeah, I'm doing this believing in the people and believing in God, believing in the divine. So the results will be up to the people and the results will be up to God. But I cannot say it's a foregone conclusion. The people are not aware of the system, for example, that the system has bought them out. What I'm trying to do is spread awareness that this system, whether JLP or PNP, does not work for you, they work for their funders. No matter what they may do for a few persons, it will not work out for the benefit of all the constituents, nor
Okay.
the general population.
Yeah. So Anderson, the money is your take on that?
I didn't get that.
Mr. Anderson, the money issue, the cost of this election. Are you there?
Right. I'm addressing the cost of the election. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm here.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Anderson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, David
Yes.
Anderson, go ahead.
The cost of election. Yes, the cost of the election. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Hearing you,
Yes.
please.
Right, right. The cost of the election, I think that's the least to really discuss because it's paramount that the people know that they have a democratic right. Right? So the cost, I mean, I think democracy has no cost. You know, in Jamaica, we're accustomed to things being done one way, and I am sure that the leading party want to know that nobody contested. You know, nobody contested it. Nobody showed forward, right? So the cost of the elections, I think that's the least of importance now. The most important thing is that people are aware and people are behind the democratic movement, are behind the independent movement. When you go in the streets and you hear the voice of the people, right? The people are really in need of a change. A lot of people, if you check the voting population, 70% of the voting population haven't voted. 70%. The turnout is so sure. Why is it? They have no confidence. They have no confidence in the present system. So I'm saying it's not anything new. We don't need to educate the people on the point that there's nothing going on either sides, right? We need to get the people to the point where they make that change and people are ready with the right candidates and with the right layout and with the right injection of our plans. We can reach the people. We can win this election.
Here now. I'm happy you went on that road because I'm going to ask both of you, beginning Mr. Neil, what therefore do you bring to the table? What new will you bring? What are the plans and aspirations from your angle? Begin with you, Mr. Neil.
All right, so what I will be focusing on is youth development. I have been a cadet officer for over 21 years and also been involved in different youth organizations, most notably the National Youth Council of Jamaica and the parish youth councils under it. What I want to do is bring to Northeast Center the program that I'm working on now, a youth paramilitary program that's developing the disciplinary skills, the leadership skills of the youth, engaging them positively so they develop their financial literacy. We don't want anybody thinking that they have to depend on scamming, which is not even sustainable nor good for the country, nor for themselves. We have partnered with 4-H also, so we're bringing agriculture. We have started an aquaponics project with the paramilitary youth group, and we're using agriculture, partnering with 4-H to start school gardens, community gardens, and this training where they learn to develop their core selves, so that we have confident youth who don't have to rely on gangs. We have youth who are able to leave school and enter the system as somebody who knows how to make money work for them instead of depending on anybody else to sustain themselves. No, that's my personal plan. But overall, I also represent the UIC's goals, the UIC's manifesto, whereby our platform, one of our platforms is land for the people, where every Jamaican must become an owner of land. That's a big thing. Right now, what we have is prone land belonging to the government, but the land belongs to the people. Another platform that the UIC has is a non-partisan constitutional republic where the party system does not influence one going into governance, where it is not dominated by any party, where the party system is of no consequence. Because what it does is divide the people against each other, and it divides our government. We have one side of government working against the other to get the vote of the people. What we want to do is unite Jamaica.
All right, Mr. Neil, you have to wind on with that. But what you mentioned a while ago sounded more like if more of the UIC individuals had representation in Parliament, and that seemed like more a national focus rather than a constitutional one. But anyway, Mr. Anderson, what are your goals, plans going forward for the constituency? Mr. Anderson, still with us? Your time, Mr. Anderson. Having some technical challenges there. Okay. All right. Mr. Neil, still with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah. There have been concerns about Trelawney, Southern Trelawney, I believe, being without representative in Parliament since last year. And the PNP has referred to the September 30 by-election in Northeast St. Ann as a slap in the face to the Trelawney constituents. What are your views on that matter?
I do believe that the people of South Trelawney should have representation. They have been over a year now without representation, and it really is demeaning and disrespectful to those people who have been without representation. To call a by-election right after the resignation of the MP that was there. So it really is a slap in the face of the people.
You believe it's a slap in the face?
Go again?
No, just to reiterate, you believe it's a slap in the face of the Trelawney constituents?
Yes, it's an out of order move when we think of the people being without representation.
Yeah, but you're running now in this election. That's causing a slap in the face.
No, and that is the response now. The thing is, the people now are given an opportunity to show their disdain for this move. Instead of having the government's candidate slide in unelected, now the people have the choice to say what they think about this move. So I have given them the platform. I have made myself available for them to do so.
Yes. What happens, as you know, PNP has boycotted the election because they regard it as slap in the face. You are running in this election. Regard it as slap in the face. How do you reconcile that?
Everyone must do what is best for them, you know. So as far as the PNP sees it, they have made their stance. I have no issue with that. I cannot comment on that. That is their view. Now, there is a quote by Albert Einstein that says, and I'm paraphrasing, when good people sit by and watch bad people do things, then that causes evil to perpetuate in the world. Now, you can take a moral stance, and that's equally valid as you saying that, all right, we the people have decided that this will not go as those who manipulate the system wanted to go. So this is what we will do. Either is really up to your personal view. What we UIC is saying is that the majority of the electorate do not believe in the system as expressed by the lack of voting. We are representing now a new system of governance whereby you can take part. It is totally dependent on you. If you don't fund it, if you don't promote it, if you don't support it, it will not go back.
Mr. Neil, I'm so sorry. We're out of time. We want to thank you and David Anderson for joining us. We have been having some technical challenges in reconnecting with Mr. Anderson. But thanks for joining us and all the best.
All right, thank you. Take care.
This was the Morning Watch. Will continue in just a moment.
The time by Jam Bank is
7:30.
Ready to experience 6 times more freshness in your clothes? Try Downy Scent Beads. Its fragrance is so amazing, you'll have to sniff it to believe it. Try Downy Scent Beads today. 6 times more freshness versus using detergent alone.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Follow Great Sardine, that's a flavor. Great Sardine with the chef and the baking up. Follow the one with pepper, that's a the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the part, make a shell it.
Pick up Grey Sardines with peppers, vegetable oil, water and olive oil with peppers.
Fit up your breakfast, lunch or dinner. Shake it out, spice it up, make it simmer. Great Sardine, yeah, the better flavor. Quick and easy as you print it, ready.
Grey Sardines, follow the better flavor.
I am so happy for back to school. Oh wow, getting back to a quiet house comes at a price, right? Flow knows how to easy work for back to school. With a $15,000 gift card to help take care of your back to school expenses and a free school bag. The books aren't going to carry themselves, right? Make back to school easier and sign up for Yard and Road. Get internet at home and mobile on the go for only $5,300 plus GCT. Flow Yard and Road makes every day better. Visit a Flow store today, conditions apply.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habasco. Get it on Habasco. Habasco. Be everything what you need. That's quality service guaranteed on Habasco. Get it on Habasco. Yeah, Habasco. Furniture for your house, and everything for your kitchen, rocks and more at Habasco. The store that gives you more. Habasco.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing in the Gleaner. JCF condemns fake image involving PM Holness. Also in the Gleaner, alleged killers in Cherry Tree Lane massacre remanded. In the Observer, some Cubans depend on sugar water as food shortages bite. And also in the Observer, businesses engaged in price gouging warned. In Luke News, 12-year-old boy seen in viral video assaulting other student, now charged. And JCF mounts significant police presence around the PM's residence. Wow. Those are some of the major stories, headlines in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. Would you become an astronaut and explore space? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 4:30 this Throwback Thursday, September 19? Join me, your host, Darren Mitchell, the Creative Jesus Guy, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing Menticize at 1:45. Then, Prayer Blast will be at 2 o'clock as we bring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside Pieces of the Past, we share with you the history of the post office in Jamaica. So join us, Naman. Then at 3 p.m., join us as we bring you music in a Take Me Back style. This Throwback Thursday. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This Throwback Thursday, September 19, on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jukal to look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. Would you become an astronaut and explore space? Jukal?
All right, so we have a response here. This one is, of course, from Cherry in Spanish Town. Let me find her comments quickly. Before Cherry's comment, this one says, yes, exploring space would be fascinating. The sights and overall experience would be incredible and truly extraordinary. My primary concern, though, would be safety and being away from Earth for an extended period. On a different note, I want to wish happy birthday to the host.
Thank you.
All right. Cherry is sending birthday greetings as well. And also,
thank you.
Her comment says it is really an interesting thing to experience and something that she would love to do. But yes, that's what we have here.
Oh, how about you, Joka?
No, I'll stay on the ground. Yeah, man, I'll stay grounded. Rooted and grounded. The name of the Lord.
Wait, yeah, come with a song.
Rooted and grounded.
I hear you, my brother. I hear you. Okay, thanks. As we now segue to the second watch, of course, we're talking about exploring and evaluating spacewalks in the world beyond this world. And we have 4 astronauts who have been launched into space in the first privately funded spacewalk. Now, previously, only government-funded astronauts carried out such spacewalks. And interestingly, this mission journeyed deeper into the cosmos than any human in the past half-century, venturing into the dangerous Van Allen radiation belt. Now, they returned early Sunday morning, landing off the coast of Florida. So we're asking, what, if any, are the issues, impacts, and implications of such missions in space? And in so doing, we have online Nathan Henderson, amateur astronomer and astrophotographer. Okay. And do we have Minister? Not as yet. Okay, we only have Nathan on so far. All right. Nathan, welcome.
Morning. Glad to be here.
Yes. Good to have you again with us. Now, Mr. Henderson, this expedition has been dubbed the first privately funded spacewalk. What can you tell us about the average cost?
The average cost of a spacewalk or space exploration in general?
Well, this one, yeah. How much does it cost, Nathan?
I'm not privy to that information. It's actually very expensive, but we do know that the commander for the mission, whose name is Jared Isaacman, is actually the co-founder of a company that works in defense and aviation. And his personal net worth, I believe, last time it was checked, is about $1.9 billion. Don't quote me on that. And that's just his personal net worth. So, as you can imagine, it's quite expensive. But the mission was completely funded privately, as you've described. And that is rare because usually the amount of expense, the cost it takes to put on a mission of this nature is such that only a government agency will fund it. And there are only certain government agencies that actually have space programs. So this is really a unique event.
Yeah. And then any concerns there, Nathan, in terms of this amount of money being spent? How does one justify that when you have so many poverty in the world, so much poverty in the world, and social ills, the other social ills?
Right. That is a very, very, very good question.
Give me a
So
good
the
answer.
first, I'll give you a good answer. So although we don't know the exact cost for this specific mission, but he's actually commanded a mission to space before, and that one, based on the figures we see online, was about $200 million US, of course, on a single mission. Now, that is a lot of money, but space exploration has actually redounded several benefits to us here on Earth, although they're not necessarily things that we see immediately, but things like scratch-resistant glasses and even the technology that goes into our cell phones, GPS technology, ear implants to help with hearing disorders, shoe insoles, prosthetics, all of these are things, and solar panels, all of these are things that have come out of space exploration. And so generally what we find is that the challenges that you have to face for space exploration are things that will help, overcoming them will help us on Earth, on the ground, not immediately, but down the line. So specifically for this mission, the spacesuits that SpaceX built had improved mobility. They were designed to be a lot more comfortable and to help further support the astronauts in space. And technologies like those, especially in going into the suits that help protect them against the danger of space, usually are adopted later down the line for things like spacesuits and for helping with deep sea diving. Not spacesuits, firefighters' protective suits, because you're protecting humans against adverse conditions. So we don't see the benefits immediately, but down the line, they usually trickle down.
Interesting. I gather we now have online Minister Noel Campbell, CEO of Arrows of Deliverance Ministries. Welcome, Minister Campbell.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, you see, you guys always set me up. You expect me to follow a literal space engineer with my.
Let's see.
All right, it's okay.
We have confidence in you. What are your thoughts on these things, Minister Campbell? The cost of these expeditions.
First of all, I appreciate the value of space exploration. One of my nephews is literally is a NASA scientist. So I understand that. But can I tell you this? Vanity, all is vanity. Solomon said that he chased it. Oh, listen, let me explain. When the wealthy are bored, we go deep sea diving for Titanic wrecks, and we go up into outer for spacewalks. And it's their funds, it's their money. I'm not begrudging them, but it tells me that persons really do not understand. The greatest depth is the person's soul and what they're experiencing in this life with tuning themselves and God. So you can go all the way. You can go all the way into outer space. You can transcend the heavens. You can go as far as the Mariana Trench to the depths of it. If you do not have a relationship with God, because that's my heart. I appreciate the technology. I appreciate Velcro and spacesuit more flexible. The next time I'm on a spacewalk, I appreciate that new trend. But when it comes to my daily walk with God, it takes remain our vein, and we get bored, and we seek satisfaction literally by trying to push ourselves into thresholds and things to satisfy that. And the greatest problem is people can't spend 5 minutes by themselves and have.
So, Minister, you started by saying vanity and vanity. All is vanity. All of this is vanity. Eh?
Oh, yeah, you're kidding me. But, I don't have to look too far. All I have to do is look in the mirror. Because guess what we all do? We all project as best we can. And this is my and I appreciate you hosts and your guests. And I don't want to, again, I am not dismissing. I'm not a flatterer. Okay. I'm not dismissing the exploration and search. But we need to always focus on the greatest search we need to do is our search internally with our soul, with the Almighty God. If we have a living relationship with Him, and if we have peace in there, it doesn't matter how little I have. or how much I have. I mean, say that also, how much you have. I'm not against wealth. If it was we have resources, we would not have new medicines, we would not have new schools. In fact, a lot of the funding for great ministries like Love and things come from persons with wealth. So it would be hypocritical for me to disparage all wealthy. But Solomon said,
You know,
the
loud and clear.
chest after the wind.
You know, loud and clear, Minister Campbell. Preach on, my brother. We are up on a break. We'll be right back.
Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, better the winner. Shop on supermarkets. Everybody say
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45.
Ever hot, ever juicy. Ever hot, ever juicy. Honey fresh, flaky, crust, make it fresh, flaky, crust, make it. Don't forget to have it up quality. Let me give you a TV open for me. Fresh, with a breakfast or lunch. It's juicy, whatever you drink. Honey fresh, flaky, crust, make it fresh, flaky, crust, make it fresh. Juicy proteins are quality food every time. Available at juicy locations all around.
Once upon a time, there's a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With school companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must. For as low as $2,540 per month, make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Surgical School Companion today. Conditions apply.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on my Bashco. Get it on my Bashco. Bashco. Everything was okay. Bashco. Service guaranteed and a Bashco. Get it on my Bashco. Yeah, Bashco. Which I feel your house and everything for your kitchen box and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
Can we do one more?
Journey, the title of the new album featuring the best of Junior Tucker. Let's celebrate the journey with Don Panton, Papa San, Colleen Davis, Prodigal Son, Paul Blake, and Everything Chris at Solarfield Chapel Church, 9 Solarfield Road, on Saturday, September 28th at 6 p.m. Tickets are available at Spur Open Online or in person at Family Word and Worship Church, 6 Belmont Road. $5,000 for adults and $1,500 for children. See you there.
Yeah. Sing it again.
Attention seniors! Great news! Your September 2024 social pension payment is now available for collection. Simply check your text messages to confirm.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. In this, the second watch, we are exploring and evaluating space walks. And we're having an interesting conversation with Minister Noel Campbell, CEO of Arrows of Deliverance Ministries, as well as Nathan Henderson, amateur astronomer and astrophotographer. Before the break, Minister Campbell, Minister Campbell was speaking about vanity of vanity from Ecclesiastes.
Yes.
And he said that when the wealthy are bored, they want to go further, deeper into the sea and into space.
Mm-hmm.
What is your response to those comments?
It's true. It's 100% true. And like you said, Solomon. No, Solomon. He, as the story describes, as Ecclesiastes says, when he got to a point where he was so wealthy that he ran out of things to do with the money. The man decided to explore from the east to left, up and down, north and south, and that was his conclusion. And one of the things in Ecclesiastes 3, he writes that the Lord has made everything beautiful in its time, and He has set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. And it's true that we are created with this desire to explore and to be curious and to figure out, how this world works. And it's just that some of us have a little more money to do a little more exploration than the rest of us. But without a wider context of its importance and what it will do for us, and in the grand scheme of respecting our creator and putting this in line in creation, then it's really vanity. And so one of the good things about this mission, the Polaris Dawn mission, is that it's actually, the major goal is advancing technology for spaceflight and for quote unquote colonizing space. That's the whole aim of Elon Musk and SpaceX and space exploration. But the secondary goal is actually to raise funds for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And so a major outcome of this is that the funds
To
are
raise funds?
Yes, not
Why-
directly.
Why let's give the money? Just donate the money that is expended for the mission.
Well, I mean, that is a secondary aim. The primary aim is, of course, space exploration, and it does have these benefits. And in addition to being a spacewalk, I mean, we do hear that extravagant side of it, but the astronauts actually conducted about 40 different experiments while in space, in collaboration with 25 institutes and institutions, mainly aimed at helping to provide better quality of life for people in space and here on Earth. So there's a John Hopkins study, for instance, to examine the cause of motion sickness and why it affects some people more than others. And a University of Hawaii study to try and develop technology that can use a smartphone and smartwatch to track your body composition and shape, your blood flow, bone density in real time. So there are positive outcomes that come out of this. But as Mr. Campbell said, the most important thing is how it affects the heart. And immediately coming out of the mission, you can actually watch the spacewalk online.
Yeah.
The commander said, in his words, that, quote unquote, quoting, SpaceX, back at home we have a lot of work to do, but from here Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
Right.
And yeah, and the key thing is that all of these things are taking place, but Earth is where we're at, and how we treat this planet that we've been given to take care of, and how we treat each other, and how we reflect on creation and our master that has created us to be good to one another and to take care of each other as humans is really more important.
Yeah. Perhaps more so from my information, I guess others will be interested in it. It is said that on this expedition, they ventured into the Van Allen radiation belt. What's that? What's that about?
Right, so the Van Allen radiation belts are two regions in space where the influence of the Earth's magnetic field, traps high energy particles that are coming from the sun. So we know that the sun provides us with light and heat, but there's also other high energy particles that are emitted into space. And because of the influence of the Earth's magnetic field on these particles, they're actually kept circling the Earth at a distance far enough that it doesn't influence us for the most part. But what that means is that in that region of space, there's a large amount of radiation. Now, usually, spaceflight does not take humans into that region of space, for that specific reason that we want to avoid that era, because, radiation is not good for the human body. But because one of the goals of this mission is to advance technology for space exploration, it was decided that on one or two of the orbits, they would actually push the spacecraft far enough into this region so that they could study the influence of this high energy radiation on humans for a limited period of time. I don't know how they convinced the astronauts to go along with it.
Yeah.
But again, this is a field for risk takers and pioneers.
Wow.
So,
taking a huge risk. Minister Campbell, there are those who I have been reading in preparing for this topic who have sought to put a positive spin on this and other missions in from a biblical perspective. For example, I think they mentioned Psalm 19, the heavens declare the glory of God and the firmament shows his handiwork. That they are saying that perhaps this is part and parcel of mankind exploring and appreciating even more the wonder, the awesomeness of God's total creation. What's your take on that?
I believe that is true. But again, What I'm going to say is we are a planet that is divinely privileged. God has created us that our view outward into the solar system, into the galaxy. And you embarrassing me again because Nathan is so well informed and so balanced. But our creation was made that we can look here and see up. We don't have to ascend into a spacecraft. Now, don't get me wrong. When you are up there, the amazing views and imagery just make us
Yes.
astounded. But
Yes.
God has said He has created for us here on earth, whether we're in the Sahara Desert, the beautiful,
Why can't be both?
African contemporary,
Why can't be
wherever we
both,
are.
Pastor? No, Pastor. Why can't be both? That those who are on earth who can look and appreciate what they see, and those who are able to go up there and experience it firsthand. Why we
I
can't have
believe
both?
both. I believe both, and that is why you are a brilliant. Happy birthday, by the way. I see
Yeah,
you
man.
sucking
Thanks.
up to the horse. Yeah, but no, definitely, I believe both. But I'm going to say this: only the privileged are those who are very well trained can know appreciate it from above. We can all experience the grandeur in terms of
And they're sending the pictures down to us.
right,
The
right.
videos.
Well,
Yes.
that's why we all. But can I tell you this much? I have some friends who are flat earthers. They don't believe it. They refuse. I'm serious. They refuse to
Yeah,
believe it. Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
refuse
Yeah, that's true.
what NASA or SpaceX produce. But what we can never deny is when we get up, as it says in Psalm 19, that the heavens declare the glory of God. Every day we get up is a blessing from God. The breath, the creation, magnificence. We are fearfully and wonderful. So I agree, there is value, and I appreciate those who can do it, who are trained, especially those who are trained to do it. Again, I have my doubts about the vanity of bored millionaires and billionaires. But those who are trained as scientists like Nathan, I would sponsor him to go up there because I know that he's going to see the handiwork of God. But don't put
Yeah.
an evangelist like me up there because all I will be doing is,
He's preaching.
that's right.
You see, I like the tone we're now setting for this because Galileo and all those guys, if they had been, conservative and listened to criticisms and all of that, we wouldn't have known what we now know about this wonderful world and universe that we live in. And speaking about that, Nathan Henderson, what can we expect for the future? I mean, wow, it's a wow factor what we know and what has been said about what's out there in space. But what does the future look like, I think, if you were to just, what's going to happen, you think, to 20, 30 years from now?
That is a very good question, and it's a question.
I know it's hypothetical, but,
and historically, any answers to that question have fallen far behind what actually happens. Because we find new ways to solve problems that we never thought we would have. So if you look at the history of space exploration over the last 10 to 15 years, SpaceX, for instance, they're now reusing booster rockets, which means that the rocket, you can launch a rocket, the rocket goes up, carries the payload, comes back to Earth. And the whole idea Elon Musk said was that imagine if you were to take a flight and you dash with a plane. You fly from here to the UK and the plane drops you off, drops in the ocean. It would be prohibitively expensive. And so as, through economies of scale and volume, space flight becomes more regular and repeatable. The costs will come down. Companies that are interested in exploring and using that avenue for things like satellites, communications, and so on, that will become opened up. And technologies that employ space as a means of operation will probably become cheaper. And the big thing for SpaceX, as we said, is that they want to push towards exploring other quote-unquote habitable regions of the solar system and even beyond. Now, whether that will happen, I don't know. There's a reason I stay on Earth. I'm not. I had dreams of becoming an astronaut, but when you hear about all the dangers that are involved, you realize that you can serve humanity very well with both feet on the ground. So
Yeah.
I plan on being along with the minister. But
Yes.
it's a very interesting field, and
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what comes out of it.
Yeah, when all is said and done. Okay. Well, I guess the long and short of it is we appreciate what we now know and what we can see and experience. And more power to those who have been up there and can experience much more than we have and they appreciate the glory of God from that. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information or get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint, reminding you to be purposeful, faithful, thankful, and of course, watchful as we resume Love in the Morning.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness works to ensure the provision of quality health services